here goes the MantisX training device, and it's pretty much attaches to any rail, just like a rail light or any of those sorts. It's extremely lightweight. Doesn't even feel like you have anything on the front of your firearm at the muzzle. So that's a good selling point to me. You know, you don't want to have a rock on the end. It kind of affects your shooting. You're not you're not used to shooting with all that weight on the front of the muzzle. So it's extremely light, and using the app that you download to your cell phone, it gives you a chart system where you have pulled left, right, up, and breaking the wrist up, breaking the wrist down. So this, I'm very interested to see how this runs. Like I said, iPad, you bring it to the range. You don't need to have a buddy. This is all going to tell you from your cell phone. So let's go ahead and head to the range. Let's test this out. Let's see how I can improve my shooting. The operation of the MantisX, man, it's just one button operation, very smooth. All you gotta do is press to turn it off. 1 second, hold it down for 1 second, turns off. Turn it back on, just press it. Now, the green light's flashing because it's not connected, so it's searching for a Bluetooth connection. Once it's connected, it'll be a solid green light. USB charge is right. All right, so we got the MantisX Bluetooth connected to the software here. We're gonna take a few shots. We're about 7 yards out here. Not too. We're gonna just go, you know, at a slow pace here. The instructions recommend you doing 10 or 15 round increments. So we have these 2 rounds. I'm testing these ETS mags out also. We have 10 rounds loaded up in each one of these with 4mm munitions. We're going to see how this app works and how I can improve on being a better shooter. Alright, so after the first 10 round group, using the MantisX app and the device here, you see there's a lot going on. Now, up here is a score, perfect score, 100. I got an 88.3, lot to work on. Okay, so you click on these individual things, breaking wrist down, tightening grip while pulling the trigger, breaking wrist down. These are all things that I did in that 10 round increment. So we're going to take another 10 rounds out here and we're going to study the results and see if we can improve. Alright, so here's our second set of 10. Man, there's a lot going on. It's almost humbling you as a shooter at what this thing is picking up, and all the movement that's happening when you're breaking the shot. Too much finger in the trigger. Healing. There's an explanation behind everything, so you can correct this issue. And that'll do it. So you hit stop. Make sure you do hit stop in between, because when you load the firearm, it will detect the slide going forward and count it as a hit. So you don't want that in your results. You want it to be as accurate as possible. But so far, man, really humbling. I thought I was going to do pretty well. Like I said, 82.6 on a second to show you the settings portion. So these are some of the settings. It's set up for a right-handed shooter. So it's right or left set up. It's in live fire mode. It also has a dry fire mode over here, and forward mount and backward mount. So you can mount this actually backward and still get results. Learning section, you can click each part and it'll tell you what you're doing wrong, how to correct the issue. You have the ability to share your results on social media, save it in your phone, or post it into social media. I really like the app. It's very easy to navigate. It's very straightforward. It tells you exactly what's going on. So far digging the app. Let's do some more shooting. Our fourth round of shooting here with the MantisX, man. There's a lot going on. Alright, so out of 100, I got an 88.8 score. These are things that I have to correct. So, too little finger in the trigger guard. They tell you how to correct that. Place in the center of the pad. I got pushing. Pushing means the dominant hand is pushing the gun up, and the firearm pivots around the shoulder joint of the non-dominant arm. How to correct this issue, lock your shoulders. It explains that. Breaking the wrist up. So there's a couple things. Breaking the wrist down. So there's a lot of things that are going on that this thing is really trying to help you correct and telling you how to correct it here, and it's quite humbling. All right, let's do some more shooting. Things that are sticking out. Something that's very telling. 88.6, but I'm starting to get a lot of this. So breaking the wrist up means the wrists are relaxed during the trigger, and the handgun moved up from the aiming position. To correct this issue, keep the wrist locked and straight during the trigger pull. Make sure that the angle of the wrist. Okay, so there you go. That's how to correct it. Here are the groups for those who are curious. So all 10 round groups at 7 yards, which these aren't good groups for 7. They're not perfect groups for 7 yards. Okay, these are all 10 round groups using the MantisX system, training system. We're gonna hit this red one here. We're really gonna try to focus and correct this breaking wrist up issue that the app is telling us. So 21 shots found. My average is an 82. My last 10 was an 82. Shots 21, sessions 2. And it gives you the data, and you can go ahead and share that directly from the app. So overall, man, pretty impressed with this device. Obviously, I got a lot of work to do to become a better, more accurate shooter. We're out of ammo. So let's drop her into dry fire mode. While we're at the range, let's do a little dry fire. Go into settings, click dry fire mode, and let's go to train. Start, and let's get some dry fire in. On my first dry fire press, it gives me a great shot. Okay, try it again. Okay, we're in dry fire mode. My first dry fire shot was 98.8. So you can see the difference between live fire and dry fire off the bat. Okay, when you're dry firing, you're not expecting the boom to go off. You know that it's not going to go boom. So you're going to have less movement. Let's continue dry firing and see what the results bring. Breaking wrist down, pushing forward on this one. So let's stop it. Cycle our action, because remember, you don't want to, when you cycle the slide, it'll pick up on the device. So you need to kind of stop it and start it, stop it and start it. So we have a breaking wrist forward again, 88.7. Alright guys, so in conclusion, using the dry fire mode You can see I have a lot to as a shooter myself, but I really like this. I think it's going to make a real bullseye accurate shooter. Correct a lot of these issues. I think a fair score, I don't think 85 is that bad, but I think if you can get your live fire score up to about 90, I think you're doing pretty well. It's really hard to get 100%. The body always moves, naturally moves. So 90% is my good call on that. A dry fire should be in the 95%, if not 98%. Closer to 100 in the dry fire would definitely should be where you're at. Alright, so a good tool. I like it based on initial 200 rounds of shooting. We're going to take it back. We'll put some more rounds through it, and we'll give our final conclusion on the MantisX training system.